Thank you, Ajahn Peasat, for inviting me to speak at your session today. Since January 1976, as a second-year grad student in anthropology at the University of Pennsylvania, BanChiang has been at the center of my life. The Penn Fine Arts Department excavations at BanChiang took place in 1974 and 1975. Peasat Jordan Wong and Chet Gorman were the excavation co-directors. In January 1976, thousands of bags of artifacts excavated from BanChiang and other sites, mostly occupation sherds, arrived at the Penn Museum for analysis. I helped organize and shelve the thousands of bags shipped from Thailand to Philadelphia at the Penn Museum. Most of these bags, primarily occupation sherds, were returned to Thailand in 1983, but reconstructible pottery and small finds remained. The place of BanChiang in my life has been multifaceted, from supervising the lab from 1975 through 1979, and then again 1981 until the present, to conducting an ethnobotanical study from 1979 to 1981 from BanChiang Village, to guest curating the Smithsonian's traveling exhibition, BanChiang Discovery of a Lost Bronze Age, that still can be viewed in part in the BanChiang Museum, to writing my dissertation on the BanChiang chronology, which was finished in 1986, and since then overseeing scholarship, including analysis and publication of BanChiang collections after Chet Gorman died in 1981. I have also been the expert witness for the U.S. Department of Justice investigation into the smuggling of BanChiang antiquities between 2008 and 2015. Chet Gorman desired, and I agree with and have been trying to implement his objective, that the best way to ensure the contributions of the BanChiang excavations for scholarship and knowledge of Thailand's past is through the publication of scholarly monographs, the primary permanent record for the excavations. The methodological foundation for these monographs is that they are rooted in assessing full assemblages, that is, the total materials recovered from specific excavations. Cherry-picking data, while that may be done for preliminary reports, is not a valid final study. The first monograph on BanChiang's in the BanChiang series was on the human remains. It was published in 2002. This study was authored by Mike Petrzeski and Michelle Douglas. The volume made several fundamental, important, and first contributions to the study of human remains in Southeast Asia, in addition to its catalog of 142 burials, plus hundreds of miscellaneous human remains. Mike and Kell's book was the first to examine paleodemography for a prehistoric population in Southeast Asia. Their surprising result of little to no evidence for demographic expansion was in stark contrast to other early agricultural populations elsewhere in the world. Another very significant finding is that the population was unusually healthy for an early agricultural group, again in contrast to many early agricultural populations elsewhere in the world, where health usually declines with the appearance of agriculture. They also contrasted the BanChiang data with other skeletal studies from Thailand available at that time, and first identified an emerging theme of biological diversity in late prehistoric Thailand. The ramifications of their study for Thailand and Southeast Asia will occupy bioarchaeologists for decades to come. For example, they pointed out that while BanChiang populations were healthy and had stable populations, those from Koh Phnom D were not only unhealthy with expanding demographics, but likely had some genetic distinctions, including evidence for thalassemia, implying a distinct population source, or at least a significantly different prolonged environmental exposure to malarial vectors different from interior Thai sites like BanChiang. These themes of health, populations sources, demographic status, and biological diversity have since been examined in other skeletal populations in Thailand, following up on these themes that were first proposed in the BanChiang skeletal monograph. These themes will likely preoccupy bioarchaeologists studying skeletal series excavated from Thai and Southeast Asian sites for years and years to come. Meantime, all of the original BanChiang skeletal data have been posted online since 2002. Many of you know the Penn Museum has recently published 4 volumes on the metallurgy of BanChiang, plus 3 other sites with small excavations undertaken in 1975, Ban Dong, Ban Pak Do, and Don Glang. These volumes are based on years of work, especially by my collaborator, archaeometallurgist Dr. Elizabeth Hamilton. You may be asking, why are 4 volumes necessary to publish BanChiang metals? The importance, again, of studying full assemblages, as was done with the human remains, and not just cherry-picking data, is key to making real and long-lasting contributions to the study of ancient metallurgy, not just for Thailand, but for understanding early metallurgy globally. Therefore, Volume 2A consisted of background to the study of metallurgy generally and for Thailand. Topics included the relative and interim absolute chronologies for BanChiang used in the study, including both burial and occupation deposits, the theoretical background, the methodological background, and the geological background. Volume 2B comprehensively presents the study of the full data from all 4 sites, including both burial and occupation remains. The assemblage comprised 640 metal objects, plus more than 100 related objects, such as crucibles, and the study included more than 200 technical analyses. Volume 2C puts the BanChiang data into a regional framework by compiling the Metal Age metal data published in English from 44 sites in Thailand. An important chapter by Vince Piggott provides an overview of primary copper production evidence from Thailand and Laos, namely ore mining, smelting, and ingot casting. Ollie Price's lead isotope data from a small sample of BanChiang and Don Glang artifacts are also detailed. Volume 2D of the Metal Suite is catalogs, and the data are also all online. Note that the chapters of volumes 2A through 2C are online as well, although you need hard copy for glossaries, indices, appendices, and color photographs. Dr. Hamilton and I have published key points from the BanChiang metal study in a 2021 article, The Metal Age of Thailand and Ricardo's Law of Comparative Advantage. This open access article summarizes the data and implications of studying full assemblages. One key point is that the practice of only looking at intact metal objects from grave goods misrepresents the place of metals in prehistoric Thailand. Analysis of full metallurgical assemblages reveals that metals were used in daily life. Our technical sample mirrored the total assemblage. So note, for example, on the right that amorphous pieces were among the most common metal remains found in our study sample. A most interesting finding in the study is that metal final products were cast at village sites based on the common finds of crucibles and amorphous pieces at regular village sites, not just BanChiang, but many other sites in northeast Thailand, for example. This practice supported local consumer demand for objects, reflecting local consumer tastes and values, not some centralized, elite-sponsored economic system. The lead isotope work of Ollie Price has been doing has also contributed to the evidence for a decentralized metals economy, with evidence for numerous redundant supply chains. Again, the detailed BanChiang study makes fundamental contributions to the global study of early metallurgy, showing the distinctive pattern in this area in contrast to that found in West Asia, China, and Europe. Like the skeletal monograph, we hope that our metals volumes provide models for how Thai and other scholars can expand and add to the bodies of evidence and important findings our team has provided. Next steps. While not yet published, the two monographs that have been published are reliant on years of foundation work I have been doing with the site sequences, ceramic variation, and relative chronology for both the mortuary and occupation evidence. This evidence will be detailed in future monograph suites. Ceramic variability, which I first observed in my dissertation, will be key to understanding Thai late prehistory. But first, a special opportunity has arisen to examine BanChiang's botany-related collections, both the ethno and the archaeobotanical collections. A collaboration with Mahidol University, University College London, Queen Sirikit Botanical Garden, and other institutions will tackle this topic. I call this opportunity Year of Botany. Plans are still being formulated, but Dr. Cristina Castillo will come to Penn Museum next summer in 2023, and with assistance from a Mahidol scholar, will extract plant remains from sediments excavated from BanChiang and stored at Penn. She will study the macrobotanical remains, such as charred seeds. Cristina also bases her methodology on the study of whole assemblages. Other aspects of the botanical evidence, such as phytoliths and charcoal, will be set aside for next steps of scholarship. The Year of Botany endeavor illustrates how well-provenienced research collections can be studied with up-to-date methodologies over decades to gain more and more insights into Thailand's ancient past. It is my sincere hope that BanChiang scholarship will keep giving and giving. I hope that the methods, theories, and data presentations and analyses will provide models and foundational building blocks for future studies of Thailand's prehistory for decades to come. Thank you for this opportunity.